What happens when we die? Is it truly the end, or is it merely the beginning of something far greater than we can comprehend? For thousands of years, humanity has searched for answers to this profound question. Ancient civilizations, religious leaders, philosophers, and even modern scientists have all tried to unravel the mystery of life after death. Despite all the knowledge we've gained about the world and the universe, death remains the one thing we all experience, yet understand the least. Some believe in an eternal paradise or reincarnation, while others argue that the mind simply ceases to exist. Meanwhile, strange experiences, such as near-death experiences, past life memories, and even government research into consciousness, suggest that the truth might be far more complex than we think. In this video, we'll explore the different theories about life after death. We'll look at religious beliefs, scientific discoveries, psychological explanations, philosophical debates, and even some conspiracy theories that suggest we may not know the full truth. Is death the final chapter, or just the beginning of something new? Let's begin. Since the beginning of recorded history, nearly every culture has believed in some form of life after death. The idea that death is not the end, but rather a transition, is deeply ingrained in human history. But what exactly happens to us after we die? Different religions offer different explanations, some promising eternal rewards, while others speak of rebirth or even spiritual purification. In Christianity, it is believed that when a person dies, their soul is judged by God. The righteous are sent to heaven, a place of eternal peace, while sinners are condemned to hell, a realm of punishment. However, certain Christian denominations believe in purgatory, a temporary place where souls can be purified before entering heaven. Similarly, in Islam, death is followed by a phase known as barzakh, a mysterious waiting period between death and resurrection. On the Day of Judgment, all souls will be resurrected and judged based on their deeds. Those who led righteous lives will enter Jannah, paradise, described as a garden of unimaginable beauty, while those who committed evil will be sent to Jahannam, hell. Interestingly, both Christianity and Islam suggest that our actions in this life determine our fate in the next. This raises an important question. If an afterlife exists, is it truly a place of reward and punishment, or is it something beyond human understanding? Unlike the concept of eternal judgment, Hinduism and Buddhism believe in reincarnation, a continuous cycle where the soul is reborn into a new body. This cycle, known as samsara, is governed by karma, the accumulated effects of a person's actions over multiple lifetimes. In Hinduism, the ultimate goal is to achieve moksha, a state of liberation where the soul is freed from the cycle of death and rebirth. This is only achieved through spiritual enlightenment and self-realization. Buddhism takes a slightly different approach, teaching that there is no permanent soul. Instead, consciousness is like a flame that transfers from one candle to another. The goal is to achieve nirvana, a state of perfect peace and enlightenment, where suffering ends. If reincarnation is real, could this mean that we have lived countless past lives without remembering them? Could déjà vu, unexplainable fears, or strange connections to people and places be remnants of previous existences? The ancient Egyptians had one of the most detailed beliefs about the afterlife. They believed that after death, a person's soul had to journey through the duat, a mysterious underworld filled with challenges and trials. The most important moment in this journey was the weighing of the heart ceremony. The god Anubis would place the deceased's heart on a scale, balancing it against the feather of truth. If the heart was lighter than the feather, the soul could enter Aru, the paradise known as the Field of Reeds. But if the heart was heavy with sin, it would be devoured by Ammit, a monstrous creature, and the soul would be destroyed forever. What if ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, the Mayans, or the Greeks had knowledge about the afterlife that we have lost over time? Could their myths and rituals hold hidden truths about what happens after we die? Throughout history, thousands of people have reported near-death experiences, NDEs, moments where they were clinically dead, but later revived, often bringing back unexplainable stories. People who have had near-death experiences describe floating above their bodies, watching doctors work on them, traveling through a tunnel of light, leading to a peaceful realm, meeting deceased loved ones or mysterious spiritual beings, experiencing a profound sense of love and oneness with the universe, seeing a life review where they relive every moment of their existence. These experiences are remarkably similar across different cultures, even among people who had no prior knowledge of such phenomena. The scientific explanation scientists have tried to explain NDEs using biology and neurology. Some common theories include DMT release. The brain may flood itself with DMT, a powerful psychedelic, during death, creating vivid hallucinations. Lack of oxygen. A dying brain might experience tunnel vision and hallucinations due to oxygen deprivation. Cultural influence. People might subconsciously recreate religious imagery based on what they've been taught. The mystery that science can't explain. But here's where things get strange. Some people report seeing things they could not have possibly known. In one case, a blind woman had a near-death experience and described colors, shapes, and people, things she had never seen before in her life. In another, a man described a shoe on the roof of the hospital, a place he never physically went. When doctors checked, they found the shoe exactly where he said it was. Could these experiences be proof of an afterlife, or are they simply tricks of the mind? Aliens into researching consciousness, near-death experiences, and the possibility of an afterlife. Could they be hiding something that, if revealed, would change everything we know about existence? Here are some of the most intriguing theories that suggest the truth might be stranger than fiction. One of the most shocking revelations came from declassified CIA documents that proved the US government spent decades secretly studying remote viewing, the ability to perceive information from faraway locations without physically being there. This program, known as Project Stargate, started in the 1970s and involved psychics, military personnel, and even ordinary people who were trained to use their minds to access distant places and hidden knowledge. Some of these experiments allegedly involved astral projection, where people claimed to leave their bodies and travel across space and time. But here's the truly chilling part. Some reports suggest that subjects encountered strange entities and realms beyond human understanding. Were they merely hallucinating, or did the government discover something about the nature of consciousness that they have chosen to keep secret? If remote viewing was just pseudoscience, why did the government invest millions of dollars into it for over 20 years? What were they really searching for? In recent years, some of the world's top scientists and tech billionaires, including Elon Musk, have suggested that we might be living in a simulation. The theory proposes that our entire reality is nothing more than a highly advanced computer program created by a more advanced civilization or intelligence. If this is true, then what we experience as death may not be an ending at all, but rather a transition to a higher level of reality, like logging out of a video game. Supporters of the simulation theory point to unexplained glitches in reality, strange synchronicities, and the fact that physics itself seems to operate in ways eerily similar to computer code. But here's the most disturbing question. If death is just an exit from the simulation, who or what is running the program? And if we are trapped in a simulation, could something be preventing us from discovering the truth? The Mandela effect refers to the strange phenomenon where large groups of people remember historical events differently than recorded history. Some believe this is evidence that we are shifting between parallel realities, possibly even crossing over from previous lives. Many people distinctly remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, even though he actually died in 2013. Others recall famous logos, movie quotes, and book titles differently, as if we once lived in a slightly different version of reality. Some even claim to have vague memories of living entirely different lives, only to wake up one day in this reality. Could these experiences be memories from past lives, bleeding through? If death is merely a transition to another reality, could the Mandela effect be proof that some of us have already died, but ended up in a parallel version of existence without realizing it? Why are governments investing in afterlife research? If there is truly nothing after death, why do so many powerful organizations, military agencies, and scientific institutions continue to invest time and resources into researching consciousness, out-of-body experiences, and the possibility of an afterlife? The U.S. Army and intelligence agencies have studied near-death experiences to see if consciousness exists independently of the body. NASA scientists have explored the possibility that reality itself is a constructed simulation, implying an intelligence beyond our own. Billionaire tech moguls, including some of the world's richest men, are pouring money into life extension research, AI consciousness, and cryonics, desperate to find a way to escape death altogether. Could it be that the wealthiest and most powerful figures on the planet already know something we don't? Or is the truth about life after death so profound and unsettling that it must be kept hidden from the public? As we continue to explore the mysteries of consciousness, quantum physics, and the mind, the evidence seems to suggest that death is far more complex than we've been led to believe. Are we part of an experiment? Are we trapped in a simulation? Is death an illusion? Simply a passage into another existence? If the answer is out there, why are so many powerful organizations desperate to keep it hidden? What do you think? Could there be something beyond death that they don't want us to know? Death is the one certainty that unites us all. No matter who we are, where we live, or what we believe, we all share the same fate. We will one day take our final breath. But what happens in that moment? Is it truly the end, or is it merely the beginning of something far greater than we can comprehend? For centuries, humans have searched for the answer. Religion, philosophy, science, and even personal experiences have attempted to pull back the veil of death, yet the truth remains just out of reach. Some believe that when we die, we step into an eternal paradise, where peace and joy exist beyond human suffering. Others argue that we are reincarnated, our consciousness reborn into new lives, learning and evolving through countless lifetimes. Some suggest that death is a transition into a new dimension, an alternate reality, or even a return to the cosmic source from which we all came. And then there is the terrifying possibility that death is simply nothing. That the moment our heart stops, our consciousness fades into eternal silence, a dreamless void, without memory, without awareness, without existence. But if death is nothing, Why do so many people experience visions, encounters, and journeys beyond the physical world? Could it be that the truth is something beyond our comprehension? Something so vast, so extraordinary, that it defies the limitations of human understanding? What if everything we think we know about life and death is just a fraction of the real story? What if death is not the end of the journey, but merely the next step in an infinite cycle? One day, every single one of us will discover the answer. Whether it is paradise, reincarnation, another reality, or the void, we will all cross that threshold. But until that moment comes, all we can do is wonder, question, and search for the truth. So I ask you, what do you believe happens when we die?